Hi, I'm Lindsay Williams, your podcast host, and welcome to Busy Mum's Fitness Corner, Manifesting Through Motherhood, where we dive deep into the empowering journey of balancing motherhood and personal wellness. As modern day mums, we can possess an incredible ability to manifest your dreams while nurturing your family's well-being. Join me as we explore the transformative power of mindset, goal setting and self-care, equipping you with practical strategies to create the life you envision. And who said manifesting has to be hard? Welcome back to the podcast. We have a lovely guest on today, the lovely Sarah Burns. She's the founder of She Talks AI. Sarah trains on how to prompt ChatGPT correctly, write better sales pages, terms and conditions, conduct business audits, create a social media strategy, marketing emails, lead magnets, and customer service. Sarah offers comprehensive training, not just on a one-to-one basis, but also through group sessions, online workshops, and corporate training programs. So I love AI is a new thing for me. So I just spoke to Sarah before and said I won't be able to contribute much to this. So she's the expert on this one. For once, I don't really know much about it. I have started using it, but I think people, from what I gather, people are scared to use it, and I think if you know how to use it correctly, people like yourself can teach people how to use it efficiently for the business. So welcome, Sarah, to the podcast.
Hello, thank you. Thank you very much for having me. Very excited.
First podcast.
It is. I'm a virgin podcaster.
So tell us how you fell into this business.
Well, I just by chance, really. I was poorly last year and I'd heard about it coming out, and I thought, well, I'll have a look at this. And I sort of had a look and thought, this is really interesting, but how do you use it? So the more I played around with it, I thought there's got to be more to it than this. And I sort of taught myself quite a lot of it. And it worked out that I was one of those that if I ever had to do any social media or anything like that, I look at a blank screen, and I am not a copywriter, and nothing like that comes natural to me. I'm quite an analytical thinker. So the fact that it can help me do my social media by prompting it correctly was amazing. So I just went from there, really. So I just learned more and more and more about it. And then what do? You buy a course. You buy a course onto how to improve yourself. Because it was so new. Everybody was talking about it, but nobody was really knowing properly how to use it. So that's what I did, and I just sort of learned from my mistakes, and then just got better and better and better at it. And then I just thought, oh my God, because its capabilities, it's not just for social media, but its capabilities are huge. And I just thought, you know what? That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to change my business. And that's when She Talks AI was formed. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to train every woman on how to use ChatGPT, because I think every woman needs it for their business. I firmly believe that. And for you can use it in your personal life as well. But what it can actually do is it can increase your productivity by just knowing how to prompt ChatGPT, and it can give you so much information. It is like this is what I say to everybody, it's like having your genius best friend at your fingertips. It's incredible.
I know, I've just started dabbling, like you say, it's quite new. Within the last year, that's when I've started becoming familiar. I listened to you was a guest expert on the flamingos, that we had an expert night, and I learned a little bit more. And you know, because we do worry about how we're going to use it safely. And I remember you saying that you can get ChatGPT to talk a lot like you. So to talk about a little bit about that, how would we speak? You know, like when we're talking about language, we want it to sound like us as well as we're doing social posts.
A lot of it is, again, you need to learn how to prompt it correctly, because a lot of people will say to me, oh, well, I've had a go with it and I can write better than that, or it's not that good. So it's very, very generic, because if you're putting rubbish in, you're going to get rubbish out. And that's why I guide people through how to prompt it correctly. So it's basically, runs through of how you talk to it to get the answer out that you want. So if you wanted it to write as you, it is basically you would write a prompt and you would tell GPT that you are going to put in a lot of information. So it would be emails that you've written, PDFs that you've written, social media posts that you've written, anything that is in your voice that you have written, you can put into ChatGPT, get it to understand that, and then in the future, and say in the future that you want it to write as you. So then anything else that you put in it after that, it knows your tone and it knows how you write it. It'll tell you what your writing style is, what mannerisms you use in it, your tone of voice, whether you're funny, whether you're serious, whether you're analytical, and then it'll just go through it from there. And then you can work on it on a thread in there. That sounds really complicated, but it's actually not.
Yeah, because I think sometimes I see posts, and a lot of posts, you can tell the people aren't up, like they're not doing it properly because it doesn't sound like them, and I'm like, what, like what? So I see that quite a lot. So I don't, people using it, I'm not adding what they need to, like emojis, and it can really change the tone of people because it can. Yeah, and we don't want that. We don't want people to really notice that we're using this. We want people to like think, yeah, we're doing something professional, but if you see somebody in real life, you don't want to be completely different. Your language, you might not speak certain languages. It can be quite confusing, can't it?
I think that is the thing. I mean, to me, if I read a social media post, it screams to me that ChatGPT has written it for you. I mean, the thing is as well, yes, it can write. If you prompt it correctly, it can write you amazing stuff, but then you always need to put your personal touch in it. Never copy and paste straight from there. You know, you need to add little bits to it. It can put emojis on it for you. You just ask it to put emojis at the end of it. When you're writing social media posts, you say add emojis where appropriate, and it will do that for you. But it is trading it, and that's
I've done emojis before. Like, so if I've used a few, I've not used it to the full potential, but I'll put on, do me a post on maybe like a bit of manifested mum life with some really fun emojis. That's the way I would talk, and then so I would see that popping up, and yeah, I'd nip and take a few things out. But that's what you've got to do. You can't just like copy and paste it and put it, and you've got to look at the information that they're doing it, because it could not sound. It could be more Americanized. We've got to think like how we talk, our dialect. So there's so many different ways that. You know, I've learned some things from it, but there is a lot more to it, isn't there?
There is. I mean, obviously, because it's an American bot, when you go on, you can change your custom instructions, which is in your settings, and you can ask it to write in British English. So that's what I do. Yeah. So if you ask it to write, you say that you live in the United Kingdom, and can you write and spell in British English, then it will do. So that gets rid of all your Zs and gets your S's back in. And stuff.
Yeah, I didn't know that, because if I use it on my phone, so I don't really use it on my Mac, because I'm always on my phone, so it's quick paste if I need to do anything. So I didn't know that. I don't know what the settings are. I think I've just downloaded it. I've got the free version, and I'm just using it just for little bits of like thing. But it does take, it can reduce your time. I introduced one of my friends came, and she's doing a course, and she said, I'm having to like research all this, and I said, why? Like, and I told her, she went, I can't believe I'm not telling anybody on my course about this. I went, don't tell anyone, because you might end up with the same things. And she's like, this is going to make my life so much easier. It's just like a master she's doing on the course that she's doing, just to help her with spellings as well. I think that's what she was more hopeful for. Talk about the free version and the paid version. What would be the benefits of upgrading to paid version?
Well, the free version is trained on 175 billion data sets of data. which if it's just technical, which if you're setting off, it's okay just to sort of dabble. But if you actually want to use ChatGPT in your business, then I highly recommend that you use 4, because 4 is trained on 100,000 trillion data sets. So the responses that you get from 4 outweighs the responses that you get from 3.5 hugely. It's incredible. It is, because they're updating it all the time, and you can put on GPT-4. You can also get DALL-E on that, so you can get images for your posts to go on that. You can also put bigger PDFs in it. So if you had, say you had a PDF of something that was a long analytical report and you thought, I really like that, but I want to break it down into a blog or social media, you can actually put the long report or the PDF in there and it'll actually do it for you. And you can do that in 4. So 4 is, it's just a lot more intelligent than 3.5. It is an awful lot more intelligent. So I never go on 3.5 now. I always use 4 for the
With you
output.
saying like your language, so I published a book, would it be safe if I was to put content of my book in it, or could it be out there for everybody to see, or would it be quite safe to put something in and say, can you create a few posts out of, these few pages if I copied and pasted it?
Yeah, if you copied and pasted some of it into it, I wouldn't say put a whole book on there. Only
Yeah,
because that security. It's not that there's a security issue. It's just being sensible about what you would put on any social media. Would you put your book on there and go, what do you think to this? No, you wouldn't, because someone might steal it. Nobody
yeah,
knows where that's where that's going to
yeah,
go. So putting snippets or putting, 30 pages of it is fine. Or you can write a book using ChatGPT and it'll break it all down in bullet points and write it for you. But obviously, and don't put your financial information on it. It's just things like that are common sense of not what to put in it. But no, you would be fine putting that in,
yeah.
not a problem.
Yeah, and I think people, the first thing they say is safety. How safe is it? What can they find out? Because it's like Alexa. I've got Alexa in every single room of my house, apart from my bathroom. And I think sometimes my bedroom, when I turn it off at night because you just don't know. But it is what it is. You're putting yourself out there. You've just got to use things safely. But I don't know what it is around that. What's the guidelines?
It is just be safe. Don't put anything incredibly personal or anything of your IP or anything on it, which is the same on the internet. Nobody does it on the internet. So, it is the same. But where you're actually saying about Alexa, this is the thing where people go, oh, it's AI has just come out and it's all this new thing. And, it's not. It's been around for such a long time. People just don't realize. It's like, have you ever used Google Translate? You ever used
Yeah,
Google Translate? Well, that was launched in 2006, and that is artificial intelligence. And you were using it and you didn't even know. And if you have, do you know GPS on your car? That's AI.
yeah,
That's AI. Amazon Alexa is AI. Facial recognition is AI. And Siri, when they put Siri on your phone, that was in 2011. So AI has been around for a long, long time. It's only now that it's really changing everybody's perception on it, but we've all been using it. We
it's
just
been
didn't know.
being drip fed because
Yeah.
people, if that was to just come out, we probably panic and think, what is this? But because it's been drip fed over years, we've not actually noticed it. But because they've used the word AI on the app, I think
Yeah.
people have panicked a little bit. So some people are like, absolutely no way I would ever
Yeah.
use that. And some
Yeah.
people are just dabbling, and some people are like pros like yourself on it. But it's just trial and error. Just got to start using just basic things. I think, like, I've done recipes. Ask it to create me a recipe, an air fryer recipe. Find me 10 things I can cook in an air fryer with these ingredients. Well,
Yeah.
it tells you in like 1 second. It's like da, 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 and you're like, wow, where's all these? You could do a meal plan for a week, a low fat vegan meal, and it would give you a week's meal planning. I know it's going to put people out of business, but it is what it
Well,
is, isn't it?
and that,
Like,
that is, yeah, I know. I remember when I first it was my first ever masterclass, and I just said, you've got a semi-empty fridge with like 5 random things in your fridge. Put that into ChatGPT, and it'll make a recipe. And I showed everybody that it did it. I think you were on that, and it
oh
was just
yeah,
like
you mentioned
incredible.
it as well.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
and it
That
was
must
just
be me afterwards
incredible.
doing it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because you're like, oh, I'll do that. But yeah, it can do absolutely anything, And the other thing about it as well, because obviously you can use it for your business, but it can also help you become a better strategic thinker. It can give you solutions to problems, suggest new ideas. It can accelerate your learning as well, because you can ask it anything, you can learn from it, and it improves your creativity. So it's not just for work alone with that. I mean, like you say, you could do your grocery list, you can do travel itineraries. If you say, I'm going to Rome for the weekend, what are the 10 top things that I should see in Rome, and it would tell you that. Your time management, email admin, customer support, it's knowledge is immense. So you can do anything. It doesn't just have to be work.
I know
Tell kids
I
you can write your children a story,
yeah.
get GPT to write your children a story, bedtime story or whatever. It's amazing.
Yeah, people have written resignation letters on there. It's like I'm doing resignation letters. I'm going to resign myself, or a love letter, or a poem. I used it for something I can't remember what it were, and I thought, oh, I'll just do that. And I had a look and thought, hey, that's all right, that, because you're thinking and you know that you can do it, but your brain's so fried sometimes. You just think, actually, I'm going to ask chat to see if they can find me something, and then actually think that is the way I would talk. So you can come up with a few. You've got to pick the one that is more like the way you would write something, because otherwise it's like, oh, like it wouldn't be you, would it? It wouldn't be authentic. So being
Yeah.
as authentic as you can to you. But there's probably lots of things that we can do on it. Like, I've just been using just basic things, but I'm guessing quite a lot of people are using it on a daily basis. Are they just, like, you've worked with corporations, are people just using it, like, is it just a big thing now that people are using throughout the businesses? Is there
Yeah,
businesses not using it that you know of?
pardon?
Is there any businesses that you know absolutely, we're not going to use this, a bit anti-chat, or?
I don't. Do you know what? I've not come across. I mean, some businesses are wary, but I mean, ChatGPT can write code. So if you have a big engineering company, they're using AI, because if a machine breaks that could take an engineer 10 hours to find out what it needs, you can just put it in and it'll tell you the error code. So engineering
Wow.
can use it. Yeah, it's incredible because it can do code. So I think a lot of companies are using it. Well, you see the bots all the time when you go on websites. They're all bots, GPT bots. So your customer service where it says, "Hello, how can I help you?" That's a bot,
I
which is
always
all
wondered who that is, but sometimes I just say speak to an associate because I get fed up. Like Amazon have it all the time, but I just get random things. If like a parcel's not come or there's an item missing, I'm like, oh, here we go. So it does all that first, and I go, I've sussed what I have to do now. Speak to associate, speak now, and then somebody comes online. But that's quite good because it is quite cost effective as well.
I
And but
think it
then
breaks
before
down.
that, yeah,
Yeah, big companies will use it and have integrated it because a lot of people
faster.
just they ring up with such simple problems that you've trained your bot to answer. So, the people that are working on the phones can deal with the bigger problems that somebody does need to speak to them about. So it just really mitigates the small problems, which helps, which is more cost effective for the company as well, because it saves the company money. So yeah, so a lot of people, they use it for that. Also compliance and security, they look at it for that. Data analysis, customer interactions. There's all kinds of stuff. Customer service. It's going, it's just getting bigger and bigger. And the more people are developing their own GPTs now, this will confuse people on it if so there's like a library, like you can go on to what's it called on your phone? You go onto Apple, don't you, to download an app. So there's basically OpenAI of like opened a shop of apps that are called GPTs that can help you in anything. Like there was one that I put on my Facebook last week, sell me this pen. And that is for, if you're selling something on Marketplace or Facebook or Vinted, and you look at it and you just think, well, to me, this is how my brain works. And I go, well, it's a red and white blouse. That's it. It's a red and white blouse. Do you want to buy it? So you take a picture of it, put it into ChatGPT, and it analyzes your red and white blouse, gives you a fabulous description of how great that red and white blouse is. Then it will search the internet for similar red and white blouses and tell you how much to sell it for and where to sell it. And it's amazing. So
Wow.
you can sell all your secondhand stuff at a fraction of the time, because all you have to do is take a picture of it and load it into GPT using Tell Me This Pen. So it's amazing what you can do
There's
with the
like
time.
little things that I didn't know. It's like when I wrote my book, I could have literally put like each page in and look at how I could make it better. Because when I published my book, I know another author, Caroline, and I did a 4-week creative writing course. And actually, my writing is like self-development, so you can find it anywhere. But I wrote it. She does more like non-fiction, she does stories, and so we did a course, and I was to write a story, and then she looked at me, she said, well, why just say blue? What about like sky blue and with textures? So that's what chat would have been better for me writing my book, because I could have put that in and say, actually, how can you make these words look better? So it's like an enhancement, isn't it? Like looking, like you say, it could be a beautiful red, fluffy, you know, like you say, the chat would find specifics where I'm quite, yeah, it was a red top, like a red dress, that would be me. There's nothing more to it, but there is, it's like it's got 100%, you know, like wool, and that's what chat would, I would guess would do, would find things what would be appealing as a reader and a buyer to think, oh yeah, that sounds nice, I quite like to feel that, like to wear that. So never thought that you can use it for listings, can't you? Like, I'm probably on buildings. I'm guessing that people can use it selling houses. That they could put properties in.
Absolutely. That'll be the next one. I don't know if I've not seen that yet, but that will be the next one. I mean, they're just developing all the time. But now you know that, you can see for your next book, you can actually put it in, and you can get it to help write your next book. You just ask it when you're talking to it, just ask it to write, as a creative writer. ChatGPT always likes a job. You've always got to give him a role. So whether it's act as a gardener, a creative writer, a vet, a dog trainer, it doesn't matter what it is, it likes a job. So it likes the context. So it's like, tell me what you are, what you want me to be, and then tell me what you want me to do with that. What information are you looking for that I can give you the best results for? And that's in prompting. So you always give it a role, always give him a job. Likes a job.
Because it's funny, because when I published my book, there's an option, like when I did I self-published my books, and when I went back the other week, I pulled it for something and then I put it back on, and now they've got the new thing on now saying, have you used ChatGPT for this for your book? Obviously I ticked no, because I haven't used it for my book. So I was wondering why that's on there now. Is it because could other people write similar things, like if they was to do a book, or what would be the chances of somebody doing something similar by putting the same questions in for me? Would they, I mean, it's not going to be completely the same, but wonder why they asked that. Is that just because would the readers then know when they're buying my book that? I don't know why they would ask that.
I can tell you the answer as to why they ask that. They ask that because there's a lot of people, when something comes out, they always do what they shouldn't be doing with it. So what's happened is, if you wrote an ebook and you published it on Amazon, basically I could buy that ebook, copy and paste it, stick it into ChatGPT, and just change a few wording of it and then sell it. So it's to protect the copyright of other people that have written, to stop plagiarism on books. And that's why it asks you as to why have you done that, because that's what's been happening. There are people with books on Amazon and they're like, hang on a minute, that's my book. And now somebody else is selling exactly the same thing, but it's my book and you've just copied it and put it in ChatGPT. That's why it asks you.
So it would run. So it would do run, because when I published my book, it obviously has to.
If you would do, if you did find it, because if you said no and it'd go, well, actually, and then you just get barred from it. And then,
so I was looking at doing a book on because I fibromyalgia, because that's what I have, and I bring it into my business on growing your business. So I was thinking of doing I was going to do a big book, but I was thinking maybe I should do like an ebook as a little passive income, but maybe I could just have a look at my life and look at how I can bring abstracts in from chat. But then obviously at the end I'm going to have to write that I did use that. So would they flag it up, or would they still accept it? Because they are asking.
No, what it's actually meaning is, have you created, is it 100% created with ChatGPT? So you wouldn't fall under that because you haven't, because it's got
right, yeah.
You just used it for help on
terminology and like spellings and stuff like that.
It's actually, the book the ebook is based on you suffering with that condition. You're not taking a book on that condition and just going, oh, I'll have this for myself. So no, you'll be absolutely fine. You've not got a problem there at all.
Be definitely exciting to see, how would it take me a lot less time than it would normally. Like, it took me to write my book, so I've had to think and write everything and edit it and send it off and get it back and then publish it, where I probably could have put a lot of my information in and say, does it sound right? Does this sound right? Does this speak to the reader? Do you think there's anything I could add to this to enhance the language around it? because I didn't want to have too much terminology, a certain amount of terminology in it. But like my mum read my book and she said, I really got, the bits that I can read, but some of it I have not got a clue because she doesn't know about manifesting. So I talk about manifesting generators and conscious manifestors and stuff. And my mum's like, I do not know what that is. So there's certain words that not everyone would know unless you're into manifesting. People would use, like if you wrote a book, people would know that once they've got what words would be. But for a new person, you would not know that word, would you, until you become familiar with that word. That makes sense.
So just get writing your new book on it. I'll give you the prompt.
Yeah, so right, go on.
And then off you go. But it does it. It will actually write. It would break it down into chapter by chapter, and then sort of your headings that go into like the subset of your chapter, and then it'll just help write it. So it would write it for you, and then you change the parts that you want changing. It's very, very clever.
Yeah, because a lot of it's personal story and my business.
Yeah, then you'd
and
add your personal story in it, but you'd get the more, where you're saying about the creative writing side of it, where it says it's a blue sky, and would change it to a different color of the blue sky, so it's more descriptive than we are, because it's more intelligent than we are.
Yeah. So the course, how do you work with people? Do you do one-to-ones? What's your niche of person that would work with you, or is it generic? Is it everybody?
Do you know what? It's generic. I was looking at this and I just thought, at the moment, because I'm going into corporates as well now, so training businesses, but I work with a lot of women, and I work on a one-to-one. So at the moment, I've got it's a power hour for £97, and I run small courses for 10 people. So I've got one this Thursday, which is sold out. So I've just booked another for the 21st of March, and they're called ChatGPT Made Simple. And it's basically for somebody like yourself or somebody who has never, ever touched it. And in small groups, we learn how to break down what is a prompt and how to talk to ChatGPT correctly to get the right response from it. And we work from there. And then we do email lists. We do a month's social media posts. What is it? Oh, we do a lead magnet. And then we do a little bit on how it talks like you. So if you've got the documentation with you, we put all that in and tell it to, so you actually learns how to write as you are as well. So you come away from that course with the knowledge to go and work and prompt ChatGPT correctly. It's good. Everybody loves it.
Yeah, well, I've seen loads of reviews, and lots of ladies I know that have worked with you. They're like, that's why I said you need to come on the podcast, because we've not had anyone like you on the podcast, and I don't know anyone else that teaches it but you. So, it's perfect for you, because I've got a lot of busy mums that listen to my podcast, business owners that want to probably enhance lots of parts of their life, the health, the wellness, the time management, and if they can save time by using this, I'll put all your links in the show notes anyway, because. And that's how people find people, and your groups, and so you're doing this like full time now. Is there anything else that you're doing?
Yeah, I'm doing this all full time now, because it's really taking off. Because I mean, everybody wants to learn ChatGPT, and I think everybody should. And the other thing is, oh my God, I'm not a techie, and I'm like, I'm not a techie. I can't even use my iPhone. And I'm just like, oh my God. I didn't know you could do that, something like really simple. And I'm like, wow. So I am not a tech head at all, but I can use ChatGPT. So it's for everybody. People that just go, oh, don't be scared. It's nothing to scare you. It's like Google on steroids. Nobody could use Google when it came out. And now Google tries to give you the answer before you've even typed it in. That's AI as well. So
you can use images, can't you, as well? Yeah. Images with AI.
Yeah. So it's you don't have to be a tech head or anything like that. And as long as you've got an OpenAI account, anybody can learn ChatGPT. And that's what
I can actually see your business becoming like a franchise. I can see you having a team of women that you've trained to then go to different like corporate places or different businesses around the world. I can just see it. I can see a headquarters for you. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's in your vision, but I'm manifesting.
I'll be sat in a swimming pool in Spain. doing my Zooms by my swimming pool in Spain. But yeah, I do think it is going to be. I mean, it's the tip of the iceberg. It is just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And this is why I don't want all these fabulous ladies to get left behind and to, in a year's time go, oh my God, I really should have learned that. It's like learn it now, even if you're not going to use it day to day in your business, that you have an understanding of its capabilities and how it can help you. And I think every lady needs that.
Yeah, we all need to have our lives need to be a little bit easier, and
They
we've got
will
to keep
do
up with the
because,
times. Yeah,
yeah.
we've got to keep up with the times that I said. We can't look at other people and, if they're going to look down at us for using different things, because we all use iPhones, and I've got devices all over the house. I've got TVs everywhere. We all have something. We've got our Macs, our iPads, our lap. Like my son's the same. He's got everything in his bedroom. But it's just, I mean, for him, when I look at it, he's got a learning disability, and he goes to specialist school, and it makes me wonder when he's older, when he goes up into the college bit, because he stays in that school till he's 19, would he be able to use this in on his phone for help, because he's dyspraxic? So would he be able to type things in? So I think that would be a really good app for him as well. If I was to keep.
You can talk. You can talk into the mobile version of
Oh yeah, yeah, I have done that a few times. Yeah, so he could ask questions.
Yeah, yeah. He doesn't need to type. If he would struggle typing, he can just talk into it.
Oh no, he's
I
all
mean,
right with typing texting or WhatsApping me every 2 minutes from upstairs.
they're so fast, aren't they? It's crazy.
Oh, I was thinking about this because I was talking to another mum, and she said her daughter's been used. She has a phone for school. She's been doing her homework on it. So how are they going to get around this in schools? Because a lot of children are going to be asking the answers for the homeworks. I wish I would have had it at school. So what's going to happen with that? How are schools? Would you say, are they going to be able to monitor it or not? What would be your answer to that one?
Do you know what? I think it's the same. If you've got a teacher, there's going to be regulation that comes out, definitely, because you're going to have kids that academically might not pass an exam that are passing it, and the ones that aren't using it, that are academic, don't pass it. Do you know what I mean? Or they get the
Yeah.
same grade. So I think a lot of teachers are educating themselves, and schools are, because what you would get probably is a very generic result. So the teacher will know that you've used ChatGPT. If I had some students now and they handed me in an assignment, I would know that was ChatGPT, and I would just fling it back at them and say, no, do that again. It's good to research, absolutely. Because you can pull up websites. It can ask you, if you're looking for an understanding on, do they still do Pythagoras theorem, that I've never used since at school?
I think they do, but I can't remember any of my maths at school.
Teach you this because you're never going to need it again in life. But if they needed an understanding of that in a very simple term, then absolutely ask ChatGPT to break it down for you. And I think for helping kids learn, I think it's absolutely brilliant. I don't condone that they copy it at all, because that's not what it's there for. You're abusing it then, aren't you? But if you can learn and get different examples from that, then absolutely use that, but don't copy. Oh, but the teachers will know. They will know, because it's so obvious. It is.
You could do that. You could go into schools and have a program for teachers. Look at me now, getting carried away. And teach the teachers how to monitor and to use it themselves, maybe to help with the lesson plans.
I think they are. I was reading something actually the other day. The government are looking at implementing different laws and everything for AI, and they are looking at something for schools and for teachers. I read about it.
You need to get in there quick. So I'll be your expert, and I'll do it for you. You need about 10 servers then, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, no, I don't agree with copying, but absolutely for research, absolutely. Why not? Because we all went to, I mean, I didn't have the internet when when I was young. I had to go to a library. I used to come out of a library with like 22 books. I didn't have Google. I mean, so you step ahead, miles ahead from Google now. So why not? That's what it's there for. Just don't copy it. Don't cheat.
Yeah, it's just finding the answers. Like, I wish
Really, the
I did it
research.
at
Yeah,
college. We had just had a library at college. The same, we had to get I did hairdressing when I left school, and I did loads of qualifications. And it took me ages writing assignments, handwriting them, and getting sticking. I found some in my wardrobe the other day. I thought I need to throw them, but the memories from when they were awful. When you look at them, like, oh, the quality of that work that I produce now to back then, it's so different, isn't it? Like, we're
oh, yeah.
expected to create these amazing like posts and courses now, but things just evolved, don't we? Life, like I talk about in my book about life coaching, and wish I'd have knew then what I knew now. And I didn't learn, I won't say I got taught the right way at school. Like, I was in the middle set, and I think my learning style wasn't taken on board then, because we've got the kinesthetic learner, the auditory, and I think it was quite kinesthetic because I went into hairdressing. I don't think that was really taken on board. So I think I struggled a little bit when I was, the teacher would just fire the information at me and it would never go in, and I was like, oh, I can't understand it, and I'd have to keep like, and we didn't even have YouTube then or Google, so it was so
Oh,
hard. It was just, I had to just, as I got older, got the internet a little bit, but it probably wasn't until I'm about 24, I'd say, until it started to become more, Google was in there and a bit of YouTube, and I used to look at videos to look at how I can understand certain parts of the anatomy. But yeah, things are just going to keep going. I think now this is in place, it's just going to evolve really fast. So a health question. So I know you're going to be at the. How often would you say you're at the computer during the day? Like, are you? How often would you say you sat down in the day at the computer?
ooh, probably about 5 hours, and then I'm
And
on
how
my
much
phone.
water do you drink throughout them 5 hours?
Oh, I probably drink. This is, see, I have it here as well. I probably drink about 8 pints of water a day.
Oh, that's brilliant. That's what I
I
like to hear.
drink a lot of water. I always have done. Always have. I don't drink any juices. Don't drink cans of Coke or anything like that. Just drink water and 2 cups of tea a day. But yeah, I drink. Yeah, I probably drink about 8 pints of water. Yeah.
So you've got to keep that brain function going. Because I used to, when in lockdown, I used to do my coaching online, and obviously a lot of people that I used to work with, the businesses was having to be set up at home, and they were struggling with headaches and backaches, and I'd say, right, get the Zoom on, let me see your work set up, and the way they were positioning the laptops, and like, how many times do you have exercise? And they go, I don't move anything, my back is killing. A lot of people have sciatica, so I was like, right, you must go upstairs to the toilet, don't go to your downstairs toilet, do some mobility exercises throughout the day. 'Cause it really helps, doesn't it, when your type of job, mine's a bit of both online and I'm in the salon, so I'm up, down. But when you are online, our health and wellness is a big thing, isn't it?
Oh,
I know when I'm looking at the computer, my eyes go boggly too much.
I do, because I have a different set of glasses because I wear glasses. So I have a computer set.
The
And then I
glamorous
have
glasses.
so I have, like, I'm forever changing glasses, but it does get my eyes after a while. So I do, even though, well, when I say I'm sat here for those many hours, I do take breaks.
That's good.
I will, yeah, I do. Because my office is upstairs, so I'll go downstairs, see the dog, and just have a general walk around. Because you've got to, because you just, and I do get headaches, and I have actually got backache. I'm having a massage this afternoon, but I don't know what that's with. Could be sitting down for too long, but don't know. Health
Yeah.
is important, very important.
Yeah, it's the exercises that I used to teach, in-chair exercises, and it's just having a pair of dumbbells on your side and a TheraBand, and just during the day, just stretching, yourself out and your chest into your chair. It really helps that backache, stop you from getting sciatica
I
as well.
do that.
So I can send you some things. I'll send you some exercises, what you can do and what to buy on Amazon. It's just that these are certain things that are going to improve your brain function, your breathing as well. And sciatica is a big thing because we're quite lordotic when we're sat down, so our bottoms stick out, and we try and have nice straight chairs, but we do have a little bit of a curvature in our back, and it freezes when we're cold as well. So sometimes that can. So when we sit up, we're like, oh, like, what's going on? Aren't we? So we don't want that to affect us as well, do we? Like when we're working, because when we're
No,
on our feet a lot or we're working at desks, we can be. So how's your health now? Because you said you pivoted your business. Would you say this business
yeah,
would be better for
really,
you
really, really
now?
well. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm a lot better. So that's really good. So life is good. Life is good. So it's just cracking on with my business and training every woman in sight.
Yeah, but you are the expert now. You're just amazing. I think you're amazing, and
Oh,
you
thank
teach it
you.
in such a really good way that people understand because people want to understand. Like I teach podcasting in a way that you should you're technical, but not in a really like awkward way. You will break it down, so it's like an
Yeah,
adaptation, isn't it?
yeah. I think that's and learning by doing is so in my course, you go into groups, and you work together in the group, obviously with me as well. And that's the only way, nobody wants me to stand there and bore them for 2 hours. It's that's not the way anybody's gonna learn. It's do it, just do it. Teach you the prompts, you have a look at it, break a prompt down and into its simple form, and off you go. And then the penny drops with them and they're like, oh my god, this is amazing. And it's great. You know what, I love to see the faces where they go, oh my god, this is absolutely
I
amazing.
love that when they go, I've just learned
I know.
something new.
And I do, you know what I do? That's the one good thing is because you're on such a high because you're like, oh my God, look, they can all do it now. And it is because that's what you want. You just want to help people. You want to help people achieve, and to be good at what they do with it. So yeah,
I
love
learn
it.
something new, about 10 things a day, because I listen to podcasts, I do a lot of
Yeah.
research. I'm like a sponge. I just feel like our brains, we can drip feed them new information. We can just meet someone at the supermarket and they could tell us something, and you're like, oh, I never knew that. Wow. And it's funny, that's why it's that herd, we call it herd community, which we didn't have in lockdown. We don't learn from each other for conversations, going to cafes like us, we're networking, we're talking to each other, we're learning things about each other, and you could tell me something, I'll go, oh, have you done it like this? And you're like, oh, I never thought of doing it like that. And you can go and implement that into your business, and I do it all the time. I think, do you know what, I've never ever thought about doing that, and I would take that, and we do it, don't we, every day,
Oh, yeah.
intrinsically, we don't realise we're doing it.
Mm.
So what's coming up for you then? So have you got a vision, a year vision, 5-year plan? I know you're doing lots behind the scenes. Tell us anything you can share with us.
What have I got coming up? So I am going to implement a done for you service. So for very busy business women who haven't got the time to learn ChatGPT, or they can, but they've got really big jobs coming on or something like that. So I take that off them for 5 hours a month. So I'm going to launch a done for you service for the very, very busy people and more corporate work, get more visible, go on lots more podcasts.
What about
Yeah.
having your own podcast? You could have your own podcast as a funnel. You could just record what you teach that day. You could teach something and then just record it on a podcast as like an evergreen content, and then you use it as a funnel to like sell your courses and talk about. You could probably write about 10 topics in a second, couldn't you? What you could talk about, plan it out for 6 months, and there's your content. One podcast a week. Could have subtopics. People when they launch podcasts, they say, well, my business can't have a podcast. And I'm like, well, why not? People launch podcasts now for funnels. I have another podcast as well, the Podcast Launch Corner, and it's basically just on how to launch a podcast. And I just basically use it as a funnel for what I do, rather than mixing it up with this one. So that's what you could do, and that's creating everlasting content that will always be out there. And always people are going to be downloading and listening. I've got listeners all over the world, so they just, yeah. And it doesn't matter with your business because it's global. Like it doesn't matter where they can work with you on Zoom, which is a real, like I can with my podcasting. So yeah, I'll have you launching a podcast. So
Tell you what, the good thing with that, where it would save me so much time as well, is I have just finished my new clone of myself. So it's the clone of me and my voice. So for when I want to release my online course, all I do is put the information in and the videos are all
AI.
done because you don't actually realize it's not me. And it's obviously my voice. So if I was going to do a podcast, all I'd have to do is
Yeah,
write it and my clone would do the rest.
that would be amazing to see that happen. I don't know.
Time.
Why don't you do it? Because, like you say, depending on what you're talking about, like I talk about things, like you can script it all out, like you say, input it, and just record it because it's going to be quite specific your content to this manifesting one, because I talk about my son and my nan and, you know, different things that are going on. But when it's talking about a business model, and each week, then next week when we talk about this, do your promotion on Facebook about it or whatever social media platforms, and then you can put that in. And I've seen that Martin Lewis, someone did it to him and they're really mad, weren't they? I seen it on TV.
I think it's. I saw one of the King the other week, and I'm like, oh, that's a bit naughty. Yeah, but no, this is just me. It's just me and my voice, and it'll just save me so much time for, you know, writing courses, writing evergreen stuff, because it's in there. It speaks for me, does my videos for me. It's done. I'm also going to get it to do my social media videos as well. So all I do is I just
Wow.
give it the content, put the content in, and just go, okay, do me that video, please, and then just post it. So while it looks like I'm sat at my desk looking with my lipstick and my makeup on,
I hope this is you I'm talking to.
yeah, I'm actually sat in my pajamas in the lounge watching TV.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah, so it's incredible. So I'm going to do that. So yeah, I could do a podcast as my clone could be the voice
Yeah,
in it.
I'd love to hear that. And just to sit as a podcaster, like to listen, now you've told me, but to listen, if it's got your tones and pictures on, you're not really going to tell, are you? Because you just do use the audio. You're not expecting questions back and answers. You're just visually talking about a certain point. And you don't have to be 20 minutes long. You don't have to do hour-long solo episodes. And is that just by using the number 4 version, or is there another version to that? Would you upgrade that?
So for that, you're actually using different AI. So to clone yourself, I use it's 11 Labs and Hey Gen. So one clones your face and your movements and everything, and the other one does your voice, and then they put it together, and there you go. So there's 2 Sarah Burns's. That's quite scary, isn't it?
Yes, but it's good though, because you don't need to pay for a VA or whatever. You can just have this person doing your podcast, put like episode 1, and you'd already have your intro and your outro already in there. So it's just your content each time, and then all you need to do is upload it. So that's it. So yeah, I'm excited actually for that. But that's it. You could just create that podcast for new people that want to work with you, and when people listen, they go, actually, I think that I would like that. And then they would book a call with you one-to-one for more an in-depth thing. So is there anything else, because I know you're busy today, is there anything else that you'd like to add that we've missed on chat? I know that we could probably speak all day about it.
Oh, do you know, I could
Living and breathe it.
No, I think basically, you know, if that's like just a basic overview of what it is without getting technical. Not that it's technical, but obviously if you're talking about prompting, then obviously there is a sequence and a framework to a prompt. But it's just really just to say that it have a look at it, have a go at it. You know, if it's something that you want to do, get in touch with me. You know, come on one of my courses, have a one-to-one, join my Facebook group. You know, you learn stuff out of the Facebook group, and just get on board with it, really. Because, you know, if you don't, you could miss out, and it could help you so much, you know. And that's, like I said before, I want people to learn it, because I don't want them to go down 6 months' time going, oh my God, I've wasted all that time doing that, when it could have took me 5 minutes. But I just decided not to do it. It's like, do it. Learn something new.
In this life, I say, you snooze, you lose.
Well, absolutely. Well, you do, don't you? Or you get left behind, or somebody else does it. You just go, somebody else does it. Because you know, yeah, absolutely. It's take the bull by the horns and go for it.
Yeah, well, send me the extra links for your courses, anything, because this will be out before, and hopefully I'll get some more people on there, do some promotion around it, because I think people, now they've heard this, they'll think, maybe that I could actually give this a go without feeling, because I think people are a bit funny about ageism, aren't they? They're like, oh, I'm too old, I can't do that. But we shouldn't put an age on anything.
No, I'm old. No, I'm not young. I'm old. So it's not, you know, I'm old. But yes, definitely. Yeah. It's not, it's not an ageism thing. Anybody can do it, and you don't have to be technical. You just need to know how to talk to it, and that's it. And that's what you'd learn with me.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, thank you for coming on the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been great. Yeah. I've really enjoyed it, Lindsay. It's been great.
A lot of people that come on made a few podcast versions in the week, and they say, I really want I want to go on more podcasts, or I want to launch my own podcast. It really like inspired them to talk more. And I think that's it. The great thing with podcasts is you can say whatever you want on the podcast.
No, I
And
think that's it. I had one-to-one with Liz, because I'm on these flock stars this morning, and she's just like, right, I want you on 4 podcasts by the next time we speak. I'm like, oh my God, so I'm on 2, I'm on yours, and I'm going to do another one. So I'm like,
brilliant.
2, I'm like, right, okay. But I think it is getting used to it and what I'm going to say, because it's, yeah.
I've got friends that of other podcasters, so if you are listening and you want to serve on your podcast, there we go. So I know there's a few people that have guests on their podcasts, so they would definitely have you on. So
I'm available for podcasts. So that's my, I do. I really enjoyed it. It's good, and I love listening to podcasts as well. I get so much out of them. They're really, really good.
They're just like inspirations, I think. Like they're like light bulb moments for me. They're like ping in my head and think, oh yeah. Just it's funny, we can just learn so much. Our brains don't work like AI. Our brains need to work a little bit better, because we do slow down a little bit, don't we, with life? We've got a lot going on in there. It's like a little machine, that's why I say. A little muscle that just keeps going. But we should always learn and grow. I think it's really important with our development.
It's like you said before, our brains are sponges, and I think it's to take in as much information into that sponge that you actually can, because when you don't, that's when you start losing your capacity to remember things and to learn things, and it's sort of just keep going. The older you get, learn more, or try to learn
It's
more.
funny because I can write courses, I can do all this, I forget people's names.
Oh, I'm terrible. I've never been good with names. Never.
I look at them and go, I know you. I don't know your name, because I think my brain just plays a trick on me, I think sometimes.
I think mine does as well. Yeah, and names, it's not my forte, aren't names. No. I still call Neil dogs names sometimes. It's just like
your grandma goes through all family. My grandma calls me Leslie, my mum. I'm like, it's Lindsay. And she's like, Lindsay, Leslie. I'm like, oh, give up then. She's 93 nearly, so I'm
that is definitely an age thing, isn't it? Where they do, because I think every grandma used to do that, didn't they? Just go through the whole family till they got to you.
Yeah. Oh, it's been such a pleasure having you on the podcast. And I wish you all the luck with your business. And obviously we are networking all the time together now, so I'll get to see you. And have we been hugging any trees lately? So Dimple, I dimple on yesterday.
No, I've not. I know. I can't wait to listen to Dimples. No, it's been a bit wet, hasn't it? But I'm going on holiday in a few weeks, so I can do my grounding. So in the sand, and I think I might hug a few trees then, because they'll be nice and warm. But they've been a bit soggy at the minute, so I don't. But I will do.
I want a picture of that one. I want a tree hugging picture.
I'll send it to you. I'll put it on my socials.
Thank you. Right, I'll see you soon. Bye, Sarah.
See you soon. Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye. Did you know you can join and support the show by becoming a Patreon with extra podcast audio, self-development and health support? Don't forget to follow the show so you don't miss an episode. And if you could rate and review the show, that would be great. And thanks for listening. Oh, don't go yet. Did you know you can find me on Amazon? I have over 20 self-published books. From manifesting planners, weight loss and meal planning, gratitude and time blocking, and many more. Bye for now.